What's going on? It's Christina from the Glaser Tutoring Company, and today we are going to expand some binomials. So in this case, we have to expand the binomial. The binomial that is given here is 12 minus 4x. And that 12 minus 4x is being raised to the second power. Okay. Well, what does expand the binomial mean? Well, first off, binomial, bi in medical terms or scientific terms, mathematical terms, bi means 2. And since we're in the realm of polynomials, a binomial just means that you have a mathematical expression that just has 2 different terms. In here, my 2 terms are just the 12, right? This doesn't have any x value or x squared value, so that's one term. And then this negative 4x is the other term. So I got 2 terms, and they're being raised to the second power, or being squared. We must expand this. So expansion just means to make it bigger, right? Expand on that. We're going to, enlarge in it or make it bigger. Basically, we just have to write this the longer way, right? Now, this all comes from what the exponent is. Now, in this case, it's a squared value. And if you have binomials or polynomials in parentheses and it's being squared or cubed or raised to the 4th, that exponent is always going to tell you how many you have of your polynomial or your binomial. So, in this case, how many 12 minus 4x's do we have? Yeah, it said that it was being raised to the second, so we have 2 of them. So that's your expansion. We must write out how many total we have. So, let's go for it. Let's write out our first parenthesis, and here it is, 12 minus 4x. And now, let's just write out the second one. So here's my next set of parentheses, 12 minus 4x. And we're done with basically the expansion part. But we actually have to do the math here, right? You can't just write it out and not do the math. The first thing is, what operation is in the middle between these 2 binomials? Well, I didn't say plus and I didn't say minus, right? If you're raising something to the second power or the third power, it all comes down to multiplication. So basically, you're just taking these binomials and you're multiplying by them, by themselves. So let's do it, right? You got the FOIL method, you got graphs and charts and all that kind of crazy stuff, but I think we can just be fair. When I multiply polynomials or binomials, I always keep fairness in mind. You do all the heavy lifting on your first binomial or trinomial or whatever, and once you get to the end of your last term, all you got to do is then just simplify and call it a day. So, always start with one term at a time. In this case, I'm going to focus on the 12. And we must multiply, but you will never multiply inside the same parentheses because it literally says subtraction. So when we're multiplying, we must go across the parenthesis, across the pond. So we have to multiply 12 by 12. But as we're doing that first multiplication, the 12 is being multiplied by the 12, this negative 4 says, I want to be multiplied too. That's where the fairness comes into play. The 12 must be multiplied by the first term, the 12, and you gotta multiply that by the same term. So the 12 has to be multiplied by the negative 4x. Let's get that down, and then we'll come back and do the second term. So 12 times 12. 12 times 12 is 144. So we'll start it off with 144. Now, numbers first, 12 times negative 4. Please take note of your signs because signs here is going to make all the difference. So I have a 12 times a negative 4. 12 times a negative 4 is what? 48, negative 48, so minus 48. This doesn't have any x value, but this one does. So I just bring that x value along for the ride. And notice how I wrote these 2 numbers in different colors. Because just numbers only want to get simplified with just numbers, and just x values want to get simplified with just one x value. Okay. Now we're basically done with the 12. So that's what the heavy lifting is all about. Once you focus on your first term, you do all the math. That one you don't even have to look at anymore. And now we move on to the next one. Keep in mind that it's a negative. So this negative 4x will get multiplied by the 12. As that's happening, the other negative 4x is saying, I want to get multiplied too. So we got to be fair. Let's be fair. We got to take that arrow and do it to the both of them. So let's go for it. Negative 4x times 12. That's the same as what it was before, right? Negative 4 times 12 is negative 48, so minus 48. This just has the x value. There was no x value on the 12, so minus 48x. And now, negative 4 times a negative 4 is a positive 16. And now we got x values in both terms, right? So I'm going to collect one x here, right? This was x raised to the first. And I'm going to collect another x value, that's x to the first. How many total x's do you have? 1, 2. So how many x's do I have? I got 2 x's, so x squared. Now let's just simplify this. So we can only simplify the x terms in the middle because those are the ones that are written in blue. So 144 is just going to stay. And now let's do the math here. Minus, so a negative 48 minus 48, so that's what, 96? Negative 96x. And then plus 16x squared. Now this technically is a final answer, but if you want to put it into standard notation, always list your terms with the highest degree, aka the biggest exponent. So technically, the 16x squared should go first, then the minus 96x, because that has only one x value, and since this 144 was a positive value, there was no negative in front of it, it would be plus 144. And that would be your standard notation. And now we have ourselves an answer. 16x squared minus 96x plus 144, and you are done. What do you think? Hopefully this helped. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, I look forward to helping you guys out. I love helping you guys out. I love doing these videos. My brother and I, we really do truly appreciate all you guys that have been with us. And, you know, newcomers, old comers, whoever it is, right? If you've been with us for a while, if you're just tuning in, hi, and thank you for stopping by. Check out the channel. We got tons of videos. We got physics, chemistry, and math videos on the channel. And soon we'll have more subjects as well. So I'm super excited. And good luck on those tests and quizzes, all right? Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.